Facebook, LinkedIn and all that stuff for a long time, especially YouTube. So my YouTube channel has over 4 million views on, but I've not made £4 million. Does that make sense? So I'm getting to the stage now where I'm going to upload a lot less, simply because you're not rewarded for your content and for your information. And then you get penalised. I commented on somebody's video on Instagram saying how great the video was, and the wording, they took it down. And then I posted a video on YouTube, which was about 5 years old, talking about cannabis and how good it is for the body, and the healing benefits that you can get from it, even though I wouldn't do it myself. I've tried the cannabis oil stuff, but I didn't really like it. So it's really an individual thing. But all the YouTubers out there that are trying to make money and trying to be successful on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram and LinkedIn, I think it's a huge scam now. They just want you to upload information so they get clicks and hits and get people to watch your information, but they don't want to pay you for it anymore. So I'm cutting right back on myself doing this type of stuff, because I've been looking at TikTok and Instagram, and so much of it is all negative nonsense. You know, you see all these gym idiots keep putting videos up of themselves. So I'll just have me fungal-free coffee. Putting out videos of them fucking up in the gym and doing exercises that are totally terrible, just wanting to get hits and clicks. So I don't want to just get hits and clicks. I want to get hits and clicks because I'm putting good information out there, not because I'm being a total twat. I could do a nude YouTube short video of me just running around my flat naked. I'm sure that would get hundreds of views, but what's the point? Do you see my point? So that's my rant about all the social media, which I'm going to not do as much of. And then the next rant is about politics. So whether you vote Labour, Conservative or Reform or the Green Party, they're all the bloody same. All they want is that tick in that box. They're not going to help you with your mortgage. They're not going to help you with your council tax. They're not going to help reduce your gas and electric bills. And they're not going to reduce the water rates. The water rate company that's put sewage in the sea, in the lakes and rivers where people go swimming are getting sick now, are making billions every year. My bill is about £30 a month, and I'm like, why? It's water that comes from the sky. And they've not done anything to upgrade it. So this is Maggie Thatcher's fault. The same with Maggie Thatcher selling off all the social housing. That's why there's so many people homeless and sofa surfing now. In my early 20s, I sofa surfed for a few years until I got my first flat, you know, so I know what it's like. I feel for the people out there. Is Nigel Farage the real deal, or is he a con man? They had video footage of him at a Conservative party dancing around with all the Conservatives. So is he really for the people, or is he really to mess it up a bit and to get people talking about politics? Because politics is fucking boring. You know, you see him in the Houses of Commons, you know, on Question Time or whatever it's called, Prime Minister's Questions, and they're all shouting and screaming at each other like they're fucking 3 years old, and they're falling asleep and they're on their mobile phones, and we're paying them to do that. It's all messed up, in my opinion. So if anybody gets in, I'd like Farage to get in. I don't want that Labour guy to get in because he managed to get, you know, if it's true, managed to get the paedophile off a case. What's his name? Jimmy Savile got him off a case when he was a lawyer. And it must be true, because Boris Johnson mentioned it in Prime Minister's Questions time. So it must be true. Otherwise, if it wasn't true, he'd get nicked for that. You know what I mean? So what I say to anyone that's going to vote, you know, that's up to you. But just think about what they did during COVID. You only got a good amount of money during COVID if you was a self-employed person and you earned over 100k a year. If you was in the 20k bracket or the 15k bracket, you got hardly anything. So they didn't really help the people that really needed it. All they helped was the billionaires and the really rich, successful businesses. They didn't help the little businessman. And I can remember Siddiq Khan, or whatever his name is, he went to a pub and he wouldn't even talk to the pub landlord. And that really pissed me off, thinking, he's supposed to be for the workers. And he said that his father was a tool maker. His father owned the company of the tool making company. So he wasn't really making tools himself. So it's all complete BS, you know. But I think Nigel Farage is more for the people in some respects. You know, saying for the self-employed should only pay tax when they hit 20 grand bracket. And I believe that would be a great idea, because, you know, they say at the moment, if you earn £1,000, you still have to tell the Inland Revenue. So you still have to have an accountant, which will cost you 300 quid, 350, 380 pounds. So really, from a business point of view, it's not very good. You know what I mean? And when you're self-employed, you don't get any sick pay, you don't get any holiday pay, you don't get any benefits that normal people do when they're being employed by a company. Does that make sense? So really, there should be more incentives for people like me that are self-employed to really get something from it, you know? So let's talk about Conservatives. So many of them have been fired or kicked off the party for sexual allegations, for touching up their people that work with them, other MPs, then dodging tax, like the Asian guy, dodging his tax, then he gets found out, then he decides to pay it, and then only gets a tiny fine. You know, that's what made me sick as well, is that when they got the fines during COVID, £50, when they earn 90,000 pounds a year, and they get a £50 fine. That's like 50p to me and you. Do you know what I mean? It's absolutely nothing to them. It's a piss in the ocean. They should have been suspended from work, suspended pay, and then got a massive fine for what they did during Partygate and all the other things they did during COVID, constantly lying to people, and Hancock saying that vitamin D doesn't work, vitamin C doesn't work. What a load of cobblers he was talking about. And now he says that, oh, people, you know, are so caring and so nice to him now that he's not a politician. I believe that to be a complete lie. Everybody hates him for what he did, especially if you lost your grandma or you lost a family member where you couldn't go and see him because he stopped everyone from seeing anyone in hospital or going to funerals. What a complete CUNT. So I've had a couple of leaflets through the door. They've gone straight in the bin. One of them was from the Conservative Party, and they went, oh, we want to do a survey. Can you answer these questions? It's only going to take a couple of minutes of your time. Well, I tell you what, my time is very, very valuable. And I'm not going to give you information that you should already know. I just threw it in the bin. Yeah, so I'm totally disillusioned with politics. The only person that can make a big change maybe is Farage. But even if he was to get into power, I think he'll be shot or killed or something, because they absolutely hate him. And the people in power don't want him in power because he speaks his mind and because he wants to do things differently, which I think is fantastic. But they just won't allow it. you know, the Illuminati, what else they call themselves? The establishment. Just because they got more money than everybody else doesn't mean they're more clever than me and you. Does that make sense? And if they were more clever than us, why is the country in such a state? Can't see your doctor, can't get to the dentist. Potholes everywhere. And why have we got this other MP, this in the London mayor, that's not fixing the roads, that's making everyone drive slower, that's putting garden plants in the way of the road, and then putting cycling paths. Like if you go to Hyde Park, there's a massive cycling path, and they've made the road that was a 4-lane road going down to a 2-lane road. So what that means is if there's a big accident or something happens, the police cars and ambulances are not going to get down there if that cycling pathway was blocked because of cyclists. But I've been down that road 100 times and seen one cyclist. What a complete waste of money. Painting the chairs multicoloured for gay people. The biggest waste of money ever. Painting the road multicoloured. The biggest waste of money ever. Most gay people you talk to will say they just want to live their life. They don't want to publicise that they're gay because they know it's really frowned upon. Even though it's there. It's been there since men have been on the planet, I think, you know, gays and lesbians. And I've got nothing against gays and lesbians. All I've got something against is that the council wasting money and then wondering why they're going bankrupt. How can a council go bankrupt when they've got all these rental flats they're getting money from? And even if you're unemployed or on benefits, you still have to pay your council rent, otherwise you get evicted. So they can't blame it on benefit people. I think what it is that the big councillors are on so much fucking money that that's what's bankrupting the councils. It's not Joe Normal bankrupting the council. You know, a lot of people decided not to pay their council tax because they're realising it's illegal, and they have courthouses inside the councils which are not legal. So many people are cottling onto that and not paying their £1,000 a month council tax. Like, it's really funny, right? If you go down my road, it's £700 a year. If you go across the road into another borough, it's £1,200 a year. How is that even fair or right? It's not, is it? So I'm disillusioned, totally disillusioned, like many other people with politics. I try not to watch it, but it just comes up, doesn't it? And I feel the politicians don't care about any of us. Maggie Thatcher didn't care. Tony Blair didn't care. Maggie Thatcher sold everything off, like the trains, the water, the gas and electric, and that's why we're in the shit we're in now. Does that make sense? So she's dead and gone. And then you got Tony Blair that sent us to war with no weapons of mass destruction, apologised for it, but can still walk around, even knowing the amount of our soldiers that got murdered in Iraq. How could you even sleep at night after all them people that died? I just don't get it. And the same with the other politicians involved, like Boris Johnson and arseholes like that. You know, the other thing that annoyed me during COVID is that Boris Johnson's father was allowed to go to Greece. But we weren't allowed to travel. We weren't allowed to go on flights. But he was. Why? He's the son. He's not the MP. He's not the Prime Minister. Can you see where they've just totally rigged it up just for themselves, not for normal people? And I think Nigel Farage, if he sticks to what he says he's going to do and does get into power, maybe we'll see a huge change. But other than that, you know, the Labour guy is a complete twat. I can't see him doing anything apart from line his own pocket. It'll be the same thing. And if you look at the King's coronation, they're all chatting, they're all lovey-dovey with each other. But then when they're in the Houses of Commons, they show that they're in debate with each other, like Conservative constantly slagging off Labour, because they want to hold on to the money power, because they want to get their £91,000 a year. For doing what? For doing what? Even Labour and Reform are saying it's going to take longer than 10 years to get everything a little bit better for people. Does anyone watching this, comment down below, feel better financially and health-wise since COVID or since these twats have been in power? And this is why I believe there needs to be a revolt, or there needs to be a huge, massive change. And I think last time everyone voted, which was about 14 years ago, only 35% voted. If that goes down, hopefully that will send a message, and they'll realise that the whole country is just not with it at all, you know. I just can't believe how they get away with stuff, what they've done. Like the post office scandal, the woman was crying that run the post office, crocodile tears. Wasn't real. She couldn't give a shit that people committed suicide and killed themselves and lost their jobs and lost their career and were, you know, maybe slagged off and criticised by friends and family and neighbours, you know. It's totally fucking wrong. Totally wrong. And some people have commented, oh, politicians need to be paid more. For what? What do they need to be paid more for? They get free meals, all a la carte, Gordon Ramsay style. They get free travel everywhere. They don't pay no gas, electric or bills like we do. It's all against their tax. So even though they're on £91,000 a year, they don't even pay any tax because they put the two houses against the tax. And then they get their family members to do the answering of the emails and sending out the letters. Now, I writ to my local MP, a Labour MP. I got an email back 2 months later saying, what do you want to come and see me for? Well, didn't you read the email, stupid? Whereas when I went to see the Conservative MP, which that was about 10 years ago, I sat with her, we had a debate about what all the Conservatives have been up to. And she said to me, I suppose you've been reading The Sun and all these newspapers. And I went, you own the newspapers. You tell the newspapers what's in it. And she didn't know what to say. She's not an MP anymore. But at least she saw me, and at least she sent a letter for what I needed to get changed. Whereas this other woman, complete waste of fucking time. And she come round the doors wanting us to vote for her. Cheek of it. And this is the other thing that annoys me. They send you a letter out as a survey. Then they come and knock on your door to ask you to vote. But when you need help, they'll spend 8 weeks before they send you an email, if you even get one back. Complete and utter joke. They're getting money for nothing. Doing absolutely nothing. Now, if they would have sent me an email back, like within 2 weeks or whatever, and then said, come and see us, come and have a chat, we'll sort it out, I would have been a happy chappy. But nothing at all. And they blame COVID for all this nonsense. Oh, we're low staffed. It's all bullshit. So I won't be voting, but I would like to see Nigel Farage get in. But it looks like, from what they're saying, Labour's going to win, but Nigel Farage might have some few seats. But it might all be different. We just don't know, do we? So we'll have to see what happens in, 5 or 6 days' time. So I hope you're having a great Sunday. You've looked at my video about why I become a chat practitioner. And please comment down below. Please subscribe. Please follow. Please like. I'll be doing videos if and when I feel like it. It's not a business for me anymore. And it's not top of my priority anymore. Because I think social media is total crap. It's full of people either trying to sell something, which is fine, but either people putting out really stupid videos and they don't even get taken down. They get left up. I see one of an animal eating another animal, and I thought, this isn't going to be nice for kids to see. And they left it up. Didn't even take it down. Because it had like